Hello, everybody, to this awesome live. I'm so excited for our special guest today, Amy Nicholas. I've known her for a few years, since the Kindle days, but I'm so super excited to talk to her today about mindset. I feel like mindset is the one thing that everyone misses, including myself, during being an entrepreneur and during these busy times of the year. So, Amy, thank you so much for being on. I'm so excited to talk to you.
Yeah, definitely, Kelly. It's fun chatting with you. We chatted last week. You were in my private group, and now I'm on your thing.
So for those people that don't know anything about you, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I've been an entrepreneur for 3+ years, and I do the daily print-on-demand Power Punch videos on Facebook, which I'm now also doing on Instagram live as well. So if anybody prefers that channel, whenever I can, I'll be on both. And I have been doing print-on-demand for 2+ years, 2.5 years or so. And I started the much harder way of Shopify print-on-demand Facebook ads and built my own store. And I had a 6-figure sales a year store doing that, but it got very challenging to stay profitable. And I was just kind of tired of doing that all the time. And then I got into drop shipping, and I was like, I'm still not feeling it. And I just decided to take some time away, and I got clarity to just go with the platforms on print on demand, go where the traffic is, get on Amazon. And I had a Merch by Amazon account I signed up in April 2016. I got accepted August 2016. And so I've been on that for 2 years, and I'm at the 6,000 tier. I wish that I had put more time to it in the beginning. I was just kind of sending up designs that I already had from my Shopify store, and I wasn't really like pushing it. That's awesome. I love those little signs. So I do merch, I do Etsy, I do CreateSpace. I also do Amazon and Shopify integrations with POD suppliers. So, and started doing all this other stuff now too, my videos, my coaching, and my private Facebook group. So.
Never a dull moment, eh?
Indeed, indeed.
Well, before we go any further, I want to say hello to the chat. If you have any questions, I'm going to take as many as we can. But Stephen Martin, great to see you. Keith Wheeler, E.S. Hart, Kyle, thank you for stopping by. Kyle McFarland's in the chat. Two Blue Eyes, BJ Jenkins, if I missed anyone. Rose, Dave Kadoff, Young. Good to see you guys.
Young.
But why do you think, let's just hop right into it. Why do you think mindset is so big in the POD industry, print-on-demand industry?
Well, part of it is because I don't see a lot of people or hear a lot of people talking about it and how important it is. And I mean, really, it's a lifestyle kind of thing. It's applicable in any business that you're in, right? Sure. And I really got into personal development and motivation and things like that when I started looking for business stuff. I kept coming across all these, podcasts and books and things. And people were like, yeah, this helps my business. But then they'd start talking about like personal development and like, eating healthy and exercising and thinking positive and hanging with like-minded people. And I was just like, because I thought I was going to be like looking for business tips, how to start a business, how to become an entrepreneur. And there is stuff like that out there. But what I found was the most successful people, they implement the personal development stuff first and foremost before anything else, because that's like your real foundation. So I think for print on demand, because it can be a little bit of what I would call maybe like drudgery sometimes, if you're just like, I just upload and that's all I do. This is my life. And if you don't have like reasons of why you're doing what you're doing, if you don't have that foundational positive mindset, if you don't have consistent, really good habits, like for instance, I wake up early every day, just about. I go for a walk every day for an hour. I go to the gym many times a week. Those sort of things, if I didn't do those things, my businesses would suffer for sure.
Right.
So I think that's to me why it's so important.
I know some days when I wake up, I have a message from you that you sent me like at 4:30 or 5 in the morning. And I was like, oh my gosh, does this lady sleep?
I do.
Do you have any stories of how implementing self-development helped you in your business, and how long did you see success, if you did, from implementing self-development tips?
I think it's ongoing, of course, because even like if I can't even miss one day of not listening to like motivational audio or to one of my favorite mentors. But I know I had a big shift in my life and my businesses when I took the leap of faith and decided I was going to go see Bob Proctor live in person. And I didn't have the money when I bought the ticket. I just went off of the stuff he taught, which was like, make a decision and believe, see the things happening that you want. So I was like, all right, I don't know how it's going to happen. I'm just going to buy this ticket. And, it was like $1,000 ticket plus flight and hotel and food. And I was just like, and then next thing you know, this is when I was doing Kindle publishing. Next thing you know, I forget how much money exactly, but I made that much money plus like an extra $1,000 before I even went to the seminar. Wow. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm just applying what I had watched on his live stream and his YouTube videos. And I was like, the guy's already helping me. Like, this is crazy. And then it was just like, after the first live stream I saw, which was like a 3-day seminar, but you could watch it online. That's when I made the decision, I was going to go and see him live the next time. And I mean, just the time, it was a couple months, like 3 or 4 months there. Just the stuff he taught me about changing your mindset, changing your beliefs, changing what you believe was possible in your life, and accepting that things could change very quickly. This was all just like new to me, because I'm used to like, set goals that you believe in and just, incremental steps, baby steps, right? There's this horrible blog or something called like Getting Rich Slowly. And I was like, at first I was like, this makes sense because you're building over time. But then I was like, this is a horrible goal. Like, who was this? That's just people settling. And and just, I mean, crazy income was coming to me during that time. Kindle was blowing up. I was coaching people. I was doing Facebook ads. Just a lot of like my mindset was just totally shifted on what I thought was possible, because even the goals, even like listening to him, I had like set bigger goals after that. And it was like 5x that came into my life. Yeah. So it was like, I was totally unprepared for the kinds of things that, that was going to happen. And it was just like a stunner thing. And, it's impacted me ever since. That was a couple of years ago, but I still think about it, like, dang, that really did happen.
That's cool. So, there's always something to do with print on demand. Q4, if someone has a full-time job and they're just getting into it, maybe they don't have much extra time and don't know how to fit self-development and, the mental side in. What would you say to those people?
First, turn your car into like a mobile university. This is what I did when I was working with my full-time job. Was I actually did a lot of driving for the job, and I just started downloading all these personal development podcasts, YouTube videos, audios, and putting them on my iPod. And I mean, nonstop listening, like all day long. I was just, if I wasn't with a customer, I was listening to that all the time. The other thing, just set aside like 20 minutes a day minimum to read something motivational and positive, because it actually will affect you in a different way than if you are hearing it. We learn by different things, and I know for a fact that I will actually take note of things on an audiobook differently than when I'm reading the exact same book. So gotcha. Once I kind of made that connection, I'm like, oh yeah, like, and I love to read, so it was easy for me to implement. But just make it a habit, like get up 20 minutes earlier, because I think if you're gonna make time to read, I would say do it in the morning. This is gonna like refresh your mind for the day, and that way you don't go through all this crap during the day and then try to read something at night and just be like, forget it, throw the book aside,
Yeah, definitely. So do you have any favorite authors? I know you're a big reader, and I don't know if you can narrow it down, but what's your top 3 authors?
Grant Cardone, because he wrote the 10X Rule, which is amazing. He's got a couple other books out, but that's way up there. There was one book that really shifted my thinking business-wise called Work the System by Sam Carpenter. And I think he's got a newer version of it on Amazon now. But that, if you're trying to build like a serious business, a real, like, I'm not the business, but I can set up systems for it. That's a really good book to check out. And then other than that, Think and Grow Rich, man, that's like the epitome. Napoleon Hill's, classic book. And do yourself a favor and get the one that's unedited, uncut, original version, 1937, I think, on Amazon.
What's your favorite YouTuber? Do you have a favorite YouTuber that you listen to when you process?
Yeah, I listen to Wesley Virgin, probably the most. That's like my main mentor. If you look him up on YouTube, check out his Ask a Multimillionaire series. Because I got into his stuff because somebody else recommended him to me and was like, hey, watch his stuff. And I'm like, who is this guy? And he's like real loud and crazy. But just the stuff he was talking about and the way he was talking about it, he gave like very practical things to do to alter your mind. Mm-hmm. And I mean, the stuff he's said that I've just, listened to his videos over and over and over. That is one of the things that's definitely made some changes in my life just by putting into action what he said to do.
He is definitely a no BS, type of person. And when you first look at him, his video quality isn't as good for the amount of view he has, but the content he gives is amazing.
I know. And like in his early videos, if you go back to like when he first started that series, Ask a Multimillionaire, it was like, cheap iPhone, like it had really bad quality and it just exactly. But I just started listening and I'm like, okay, all right. And I was like, I got to watch them all now.
Yeah, I could definitely binge watch that guy for sure.
Yeah.
ES Hart has a question. How many hours do you spend online every day?
It fluctuates based on what I'm doing. Like I'm, doing an interview with you and I've got my, my print on demand, private group. So some days I'm doing like a live video for them. Anywhere from, probably the minimum is like 4 hours, anywhere from 4 to 8 or 9 hours. I personally don't like to be in front of the computer too many hours because I got like eye strain and headaches and stuff last Q4. So this year I'm doing something different and I'm spending more time off the computer. I'm setting up more systems in my business so I don't have to do so much face-to-face on the computer.
Yeah, definitely. Do you follow a set schedule every day?
Not really. I tried because I wanted to make sure certain things got done, but I find the liberation of just making a checklist, for the day and saying, okay, these are the important things to get done, but not so much being too rigid about it, because what's going to happen is you're going to be like, I'm bored. I'm in the same rut every day. I'm doing the same thing every day. There are some things that stay the same, like, the days I'll work out, the days I'll, every day I'm walking. So it might be at a slightly different time, but I was kind of forced into going early in the morning because it gets so hot down here in Florida during the summer. I tried walking at like 9 o'clock in the morning and I was just like, oh my gosh, so those things kind of stay the same. But yeah, set routine. I just have certain habits that I will lock in every day, but it might not be at the exact same time every day.
Gotcha. How much time do you deal with the accounting aspect of your job?
That is the very first thing I tackle when I get on the computer every morning, because I believe knowing the status and health of your business is like number one. If you don't know where you stand, then you cannot make the right decisions. And I was very wrong for a long time in avoiding this task. And somebody kindly shared their like Google spreadsheet that they had for Shopify to track all their sales and their expenses and their ad costs. And he was like, yeah, here's, what I use, net profit sheet, whatever he called it. And he was like, are you tracking? And I was like, No, because I didn't want to, because I was like, what if it's really, really bad, right? What if I'm just like money everywhere? I see ES Hart asked if I had an accountant. Yes, I do have a very good accountant. I pay good money every year at tax time, and they save me buku bucks. So it is worth having a good accountant.
I was just gonna say, do you outsource your bookkeeping? Because I know you outsource a lot of other things.
Not yet, because there are like different things I have to log into, you know, like different Amazon accounts, different
Oh,
like
yeah, yeah.
Etsy, all that sort of stuff. I will like to get to a point where I have somebody like tracking it on a daily basis for me. But right now I'm the person, you know. But yes, it's on the plate. Once I get over that last hump of I can let this go in my head.
I think it's also kind of fun too, because
Yeah.
the summer's been kind of slumpy as for sales, at least for me. But when it's busy, like during December, you can log into your reports every day and see how good you did. And it's like a
Yeah.
good boost to start the day.
And I will say, like, not like I told myself I was only gonna check sales numbers on like the big platforms twice a day max. So I check in the morning when I'm doing the numbers, and I check it in the evening just to see how the day went. And that way I'm not stressed every time. Like, you know, I was like logging in every couple hours and being like, what, you know, I only sold one more merch shirt. What the heck, you know? So you're giving yourself anxiety. And then what would happen? I'd go to sleep that night, check in the morning, and be like, oh, thank goodness, I sold another like 8, 10 shirts
Yeah.
after that, you know. But why put yourself through that? You know, you just never know what's going on out there.
You never know what's in Amazon's head.
Tell me about it.
Young's being crazy. Who do you like more, Glenn or Young? I think that was a facetious question.
Young, I would like you both if you come on our Merch Money show.
That's true. I don't know if you can answer this because I know you're not an accountant, but do you have a business license, and when did you know when you started to need one?
Yes, I do.
Is that's for each state, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. So of course you want an accountant that is well versed in the laws of your state, because my goodness, there are so many things that you have to file paperwork for, at least in Florida. It's a lot to keep track of, and you have to be really diligent, because the first year I was not. I swear my accountant told me like 50 different things I was going to have to file, and I remembered like 2 of them. And I'm like messaging her in the middle of the year, like, oh my gosh, like I got this letter, like I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing. So I just started making lists. I started putting everything in Google Calendar of like, okay, you need to file this by this day. So when did I know? It was when my income got to a point where I was like, yeah, I need to file. Like, because what was going to happen was that next year I was going to get a couple of big payments at the beginning of the year, and I didn't want to pay a ton of taxes. I wanted a business. So
Yeah.
FYI, I'm not an accountant, but I did go with the S Corp because it was the best fit tax-wise for me.
Yeah, and that's why I say it's situation to situation, because my accountant told me it's not worth it to get an S corp at this point. So I'm still with an LLC. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's an Ohio thing or federal thing. I don't know. That's why I pay her money for.
Yeah. I mean, I can tell you the reason. She told me, look, you're just one person. An S Corp is a business of one. They don't count like say you use Upwork, you have freelancers, that goes into an escrow account. So it's not like exactly like you have an employee you're paying. So that kind of worked in my favor. Things might change down the line. I might have to open up a secondary business and DBA and all that stuff. But that was kind of the reason.
Gotcha. Let's see. Question. Glad you mentioned sales being somewhat down. Is it because it's summertime? For me, yes. Amy, have you seen that as well?
Not really. I mean, I can't even really compare, because it was so off come January, February, March, you know, like March it picked up a little bit, but I don't know, guys, I just focus on I just focus on like Q4 and try to ignore the rest. You know, there's some days where I'm just like, what? You know, but I know that I know there's going to be days that make up for the seemingly crappy days, and I don't look at it anymore as this one day and go, oh, what the heck, you know, I only sold whatever, shirts on merch, or, you know, I only sold X amount of journals, like, screw you, Amazon. Like, it's one day in the whole big broad picture, right? Look at it at least by week, by month, you know, recognize there's different things going on. Like, one of my coaches, he runs his own private Facebook group, and I was watching one of his videos today, and he was like saying that, think about the fact that people spent a lot of money this summer on vacations, on outings, you know, family stuff. People are traveling hardcore. That's why that's where they're putting all their money, right? So don't feel like it's something against you personally, but recognize September, people are going to get serious again, you know,
Right.
and they're going to be at home. Their kids are going to be in school. They're going to be doing homework. You know, the parents are going to be bored back at work shopping on Amazon. So just realize this is the what's going on right now. We're like coming right around the bend here for back to school. So.
Oh yeah, I know around here, kids just went back to school last week, so
Okay.
It's gonna pick up.
Yeah,
for sure.
For sure.
So you have this awesome group, POD Power Punch Tribe. You want to tell us about that, and why did you start it?
Yeah, so I'd been doing the Facebook Lives for, gosh, I don't know, a couple of months maybe. I had a lot of them up already on my timeline because I do Monday through Friday. And I thought, how can I like better help people and more directly, right? Because I'm just talking, you know, people can kind of comment, ask questions, but I couldn't like show them stuff. I couldn't like just go deep and say like, you know, here's the Google sheet I use. Here's the format of this that I do. Here's my niches, you know? So what I did was I decided to create a monthly paid group. It's $47 a month, but basically I give so much value in there that if you cannot make, you know, what is that, like 2 something a day off of the content, off of the value that I'm giving, there's something wrong, right? I put everything together as sort of what they call a social learning group. So when you go in there, you have units and you can go through by topic. There's like merch, there's create space, there's research. And I'll organize things in a nice fashion where you can now go in and just check, like, I'm done. I've watched this video, I've watched this training. And yeah, it's been great. It's growing. A lot of people are getting value, and we're doing like webinar kind of styles. Kelly was on last week talking create space and answering a lot of questions. So it's really exciting.
I think with the units, and you know, you said in there yesterday or the day before that you can put them as complete. It's almost like a course. It's almost like all the courses.
Like a live course. Like you can go in and update it all the time. Yeah, that's how I see it too.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. And who would you say it's for? You know, there's a wide range of people just starting out. Maybe there's people at the, you know, 6K tier like us. Who would benefit most from this group?
Honestly, you know, I can share like the fields of experience I have and what like kind of my expertise is. And, you know, you can kind of see, do I fit in that? So like for merch, if you're, you know, beginner, like brand new, definitely you'll get value. If you are in, you know, the lower tiers, 100, 500, 1000, I got people in there tearing up already. Like, you know, they've been in the group for like a month or so, and they're like, I teared up, you know, they're watching the videos, they're taking action. Those kind of people, you know, if you are interested in Etsy, Create Space, Amazon and Shopify integrations, I have experience with all that. You know, like I said, I ran a 6-figure Shopify store. So I know like Facebook ads, we haven't gotten into that yet, but this is just kind of where I'm coming from. And if you feel like you needed help in any of those areas, then I think it would be a good fit. Also, like I'm very interested in what the group wants and needs. So I will always be asking for feedback and say, hey guys, what do you want a video on next? What do you need help with? You know, one week it was pop socket research. Boom. I did a screen recording of me doing live pop socket research, you know, and uploaded it to the group, and they really liked it. So I'm just always like adapting to what the group needs.
Awesome. Where do you see yourself in 6 months down the road?
100 members in the group.
I haven't even checked. Where are we at?
We're close. We were a quarter of the way there. So
yay!
like I said, it's growing every week. And I'm just like, I'm really just honored that people put their like faith and trust in me. And, you know, even just like watching my videos on a daily basis, I have repeat people that are like, you know, either watching me live or watching me on the replays and just getting a lot of value out of what I'm doing, you know, just on my live page for free. So I think if you get value out of the stuff I'm doing just on my Facebook lives, you'll definitely going to get a lot of value out of the group.
Definitely. Is there anything else that you want people to know about you, or what other products do you have out right now?
Yeah, so I just released last Friday. I was talking about it on my live that, you know, I was like, I thought of a way to kind of help people that are new or like just really challenged with merch right now, like nothing's selling. So I decided to put together like a quick video showing one of my best-selling merch t-shirts. And the product's on Gumroad. It's just $10, but you guys can see, you know, I literally show you one of my winning shirts, why it was a winner, what factors made it stand out, how you can apply it to, you know, maybe a niche or an idea you have. And also, I left money on the table. And I, you know, I clearly said that in the video that I should have did this, this, and this to make sure I was bringing in consistent money. Like I made over $250 on one shirt within a very short period of time. And I could have done things, you know, done more stuff to maximize that.
Yeah, for sure. I think that would be beneficial to people because people are asking, well, how do you do this? I'm like, sometimes it's just trial and error. So, so is there anything you would have done differently looking back in your whole entrepreneur journey?
I really don't live with any like regrets. There's maybe some things where I wonder what would have happened if I did this, but I see every choice I made as like I had to go this route to learn something, right? It might have been a painful lesson, but I had to go learn something over here, and that got me back on track over here. You know, I will say like I should have been more diligent, like I said in the beginning, about my numbers, knowing where I stood with my business so that I wasn't just paying the credit card bill every month and not really looking at the details of what was going in, what was going out, you know?
Right. Definitely makes sense. E.S. Hart, Amy, what made you start an online business, and did you have any fears when you first started?
So initially I wanted to just get some side income, you know, like the side hustle, what they call it. And I was doing videography. I was putting up stock video footage clips. These are like what they call B-roll footage for the movies or documentaries or TV shows. And I was putting that kind of stuff up online for sale. And I was making a few sales. I'm like, this is cool. This is fun. And I love video. And I thought, you know, but how can I really turn things into a full-time? And so I happened to be watching a guy on YouTube. His name's Stefan Palernos, and he does the Project Life Mastery. And I saw his Kindle publishing course. And I was like, I was watching all the videos that he talked about it. And I was like, screw it, I'm going to buy it. You know, it took me like a week to make the decision, which if you become an entrepreneur, you learn to make faster decisions than that. But yeah, I mean, he got me into that whole mindset of running things as a business, outsourcing, and learn how to hire VAs and systematize things. And did I have any fears? Not so much fears, but there was a period of time where I was just like, you know, I was either, you know, my full-time job was paying the bills, and then I was taking like a chunk of that to invest in my business. So for months, it was just invest in the business, you know, and you weren't like, you don't see that return right away, but you believe in faith that it's going to come back to you eventually, right? The snowball will keep rolling. And, you know, finally, it finally started to do so. And I remember taking coaching classes with Carla Marie in the Kindle community. And that really shifted things in my business. I started making a lot more money from that and from being in a mastermind. And then the next few months, I was like, I had my goal set of I was going to quit my job by X date. And I decided to push it back just a couple months because Kindle pays you so far behind. It's like 2 months. Yeah. And then things could change too. So I waited a few extra months, but I knew I was ready. There was like no doubt. I was just like, let's do it. Pulled the trigger, bam, I was out of there. And some things happened after that did change our pay structure. I was like, I don't care. I made the decision. I'm going to make it work.
I remember that time. I don't know if I saw a video of yours, but it changed payouts in Kindle drastically. And you're like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Like, screw it. We'll make it work. And then after that was when I got into Bob Proctor and just blew up my Kindle business, you know. So all the stuff that Amazon was changing, I turned it into like my favor by just keeping my mind open and saying, who cares? It's going to work out, you know.
Sweet. Rose wants to know, your Gumroad course. I'll put that in the description, right?
Yeah. Did I send you a link?
I can grab it after this.
Okay. I can't remember if I did.
I don't know if I have my notifications on.
And Rose, if you follow me on Facebook, it's on my feed somewhere there.
Okay. I'll make sure to still get it in the description.
Okay.
Either way, maybe someone else wants it. How long did it take you before you saw a full-time income?
When I first started with Kindle, it took me about 10 months. And that was, you know, there was a couple of months where, you know, I was working on the business. I always take Sundays off, just FYI. Like, I'm not the person that's like work every day, you know, 12 hours a day. I was working every day, but Sunday. But when I read some things and I said, you know, why is it not happening yet? Why am I still here? You know, it was about 7-8 months in, and I was like, Amy, you don't want it bad enough. I'm like talking to myself, like, you don't want it bad enough. You're not getting up early. You're not working later. You're not finding pockets of the day where you can do something related or listen to something related. And that kind of drove me, because I was like, you know, for my job, I think I would normally wake up like 7:15 or something. And I got to the point where I was waking up at like 5 a.m. to go work on my business and do personal development. I always did personal development stuff first, and then I would work on the business.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you really, really, really have to want something, because it's going to drive you to do different things.
So how important do you think are mastermind groups in building a business as an entrepreneur?
I think in the beginning, it's very, very important, because it gets your mind focused on it. Don't think, though, that just any mastermind will do. Just any group of people that are doing the same thing will do. No. Align yourself. Try as best as you can to be in a group where you're not the highest of anything, right? You're not the one that knows the most or is on the highest level of merch or something. Try as best as you can to get around people that are performing at a high level, and maybe you're at the bottom, because that's where I was in the Kindle Mastermind. And then I started climbing up as I was meeting with these people every week. We were sharing ideas. We were talking strategy. But first and foremost, and this is something I see missing in about 99% of masterminds, we would go around and talk about what we were grateful for. We would actually have like either like an opening prayer or some sort of like meditation, like a 2-minute meditation, spiritual kind of thing. And then we would go around table and just talk about something we were grateful for and declare the goal we had. And you know, with like, I am making blah, blah, blah. It is whatever date. And I think that's so important, because I'm like, what's different about the ones I've been in since, and the one that really shifted a lot of things for me? And that's what I think it was.
How do you think someone can go about finding a mastermind group? I also had a comment on this on one of my YouTube videos last week or the week before. I said, you know, just start talking to people in Facebook groups and start becoming, you know, knowledgeable and friends first. And then eventually groups will form from that. So what's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't really know how to go about it, you could post something like, hey, is anybody interested in blah, blah, blah. But the way I did it was I just started posting like valuable tips, little things I was learning with my Kindle business, and just giving away stuff for free, basically. And it attracted to me people at a high level, because they're like, who's this girl? You know, she's sharing all this stuff. And they were almost to the point where like, we got to like bring her into our mastermind so she can't talk about everything, like, you know, and share the whole secrets, which it wasn't like I knew all the secrets by any means. Like I said, I was at the bottom of that group, but yeah, they saw something, you know, it's the whole law of attraction thing. You're out there, you're giving of your time, you're giving of your knowledge, and in a sharing kind of way, not expecting anything in return. I didn't expect anything, you know, and they sought me out.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
I have a few late joiners. Thank you so much for joining. A few last minutes. Where can people find you if they want to learn more about Amy Nicholas?
So you can look me up on YouTube. I have my channel where I do upload the Facebook Live videos. Just Amy Nicholas is my channel. You can search me on Facebook and follow me there so that you get notified when I'm live, because I will post it on my main page and I post it in a couple of groups when I'm live. But if you follow me, you'll definitely catch me. I go live typically like mornings, early afternoons, Monday through Friday. So I'm on Instagram at Amy Nicholas 724. You can follow me there. And like I said in the beginning, I'm starting to try to do Instagram Live at the same time as Facebook Live. So
awesome. One last question from the audience. What if someone's not too into Facebook? Do you have any options for them as far as mastermind groups?
You could probably find people like on Instagram, I would think, you know, following hashtags, seeing other people's profiles. I see a lot more people doing video over there. And, you know, I don't know how effective the whole messaging system is on Instagram, because half the time I don't see my own messages. So, you know, it's probably better to comment on one of their videos or posts. And other than that, I mean, I don't know. Facebook is just, there's such a big community of people that are like-minded and entrepreneurial and just doing really big stuff. I think it's just the best place to go, honestly.
I know me personally, I hardly ever post personal stuff. My Facebook's all about business.
Yeah.
So maybe just keep it, you know, a business Facebook and go from there.
That's a good idea. Starting even 2 accounts if you don't want like too much of, you know, family stuff seeing your business stuff.
Yeah, because there's been a few times I'm like, why do I still have Facebook? I'm like, oh yeah, business. But okay, well, it has been so much fun. Thank you everyone for joining. And let's see, Thursday I'll have a video, and then next Tuesday, Yang will be on this channel. So that's going to be so much fun. Thank you so much again for the support. Thank you, Amy. And
thank you, Kelly.
We'll talk soon.
Bye, everybody.